I remember that.
All right, perfect. That's great. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the My Hero Academia Manga Chapter stream. We got the new chapter, chapter 389, and I'm here with Mark.
Hello.
And Mark, there's something that we always do before every new manga chapter. And what would that be?
Recap episode!
Whoa! I think I heard peeking.
By the realms, I'm peeking.
By the realms, I'm peeking. Wait, real quick question. Where's that from exactly?
I don't know. I just heard my friend Garrett say it, and it's just funny to me, so I've just been saying it.
Of course it's Garrett.
It's always Garrett. It's always Garrett.
Never.
The man's just funny.
I don't know Garrett, but he should never change.
Oh, trust me, I would tell him to say Garrett, never change.
Never change. He is like, well.
He'd be like, he said, I pimp.
I pimp. My bad.
My bad, pimp.
But yeah, no, I think the starting recording bit is we're still keeping this in, by the way. It worked pretty well, so I think we can go forward. We have recap episodes for technically speaking, it would be chapter 387, 388. I would focus on 388, but essentially this is kind of like the Todoroki arc, if you will.
They're probably bringing the story of the family to a close by the looks of it.
Yeah, so it seems, which I wasn't really expecting it like as quickly as that, but it's one of those things where like they're already like fighting, so it's just about like how does the family contribute. It really didn't look like they would, because they were in the evacuee shelter stuff and they were being transported, but of course in the midst of that they actually had to be evacuated outside of the shelter to be moved somewhere else. And that's when they saw the big, like, fiery explosion. And obviously, the rest of the Todoroki family, minus Shoto, was there to, like, witness that. And they're like, that's intense. And then all of a sudden, Rei, mom, she goes out and takes one of the helper robots to take her exactly to that epicenter, the blast radius. And that's where you get the robot doing the thumbs up. And then, the
Terminator thumbs up.
Yeah, the Terminator thumbs up transitions to him getting his like self blasted as like Rei like rushes into the center. She's burning already. Like that's
She's just trying to cool him off.
This is intense even for her.
She's taking it because she knows that like because it's just showing once again that everything to do with Toya involves the whole family. It's no just one person's fault. Sure, there might be some that may have a bigger part, but
Sure.
Everyone literally does have some part that has to deal with Toya.
Mm-hmm. And you really see that because not only does Toya in his current state like turns over to Rei, but also looks at the family right behind her as they rush in too.
I know Natsu and Rei.
Yeah.
Or Natsu and
Fuyumi.
Yeah, Fuyumi.
And essentially, they're voicing like their concerns. They don't really want this family to be split apart. Natsu is really
their quirks.
And it's like it's mad tough to see the distinction of their quirks because everything's on fire. Everything is just like put. You can
see that there's a white in front of them. It's supposed to be like ice.
Yeah.
That's what I was like. So I was right. They can use ice.
So
I was like, I highly doubt they're quirkless. Like, they would have said that straight ahead if they were.
Mm-hmm. I guess it's one of those things where, like, at the time, Endeavor just didn't see that potential. Yeah, like, whether it be the intent, yeah. I think it was flames first, and then whatever is needed to, like, put those down or cool them off, then that's the second.
Quick other thing to mention. We learned about the Hyoga clan, which is Rei's family, and we also learned that yes, the guy on the paranormal liberation front that also had ice powers, they are more than likely cousins.
Yeah, there's like a blood relation there, so that's why he was the best person to kind of like help narrate this as well.
Yeah, so we learned that he's probably Rei and the rest of the Todoroki's, like the Todoroki family, like the kids at least, Rei and the kids' cousin, if I had to assume.
Mm-hmm. Which is interesting. There hasn't been much interaction there. That would have been interesting, but maybe some other time.
I mean, he and Dabi did fight.
This is true. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's actually pretty fair. But yeah, we have one last panel from 388, which was like kind of the Horikoshi does this, the what
Pain,
if, the what ifs,
the pain.
where it's just the entire family minus Shoto, congratulating Toya or just being there for Toya, but he has Dabi's like clothes.
But he's not burned. He's got a big smile on his face.
Yeah, he might be missing an arm though.
It's like this is what he might have looked. This is probably how it would have been if it had been this way from the start.
Possibly, yeah.
Like if everyone had actually done properly what they needed to do in this family.
Hmm. Yeah, that's yeah. They just kind of left it at that, and like, what do I do with that? Nothing. You wait the week, and then you get this nice little cover from 389. So we're gonna jump into it. We have people were like posting this online. They were saying like this completes the Trinity, like our main cast and like the respective rivals slash like enemies. And this one features Araka and Toga. Toga is like illustrated here as kind of like having like twice as stuff going on, but she's also like transitioning back to her again. And essentially, like these two are like so up close.
They're nose to nose.
They're nose to nose, and seeing like Toga's mouth like wide open's like, bro, she could like bite like Araka's like mouth off.
Gonna take a chop out of you. You gotta be careful. It's getting dangerous. Gunhead and martial arts.
Seriously, that by itself has like saved Araka so many times. Like, bro,
And I'm like, yo,
sign me up.
Gunhead should have a huge school if these martial arts are that good.
Pretty much. Honestly, I think it should be like a mandatory thing for all of Class 1A to learn a little bit of Gunhead's martial arts.
You see how good it's done for her.
Mm. She also has the dog in her too.
She was gonna dog.
Remember the first time she like used it? Something just snapped. Dang. But so first page, right? Of chapter 389. I'll go and read the chapter right now. It's assurance and prayers.
So it's similar to I think it's a similar thing to thoughts and prayers.
Yeah. So we see like obviously it's the Todoroki family. Yeah.
Just trying to cool down this nuclear core.
Yeah, and it's going Nova. I don't want to give any Tears of the Kingdom spoilers, but that second panel, some people may know what's gonna happen. What happens like in like that story, but it reminds me of that type of thing. Keeping it as big as possible. But it's a huge explosion. We go to the next page. It's now this is being viewed on monitor. The rapid rise in temperature at the epicenter is slowing down. Running the numbers again. Now it's looking like wait, no. Temperatures are not dropping. The explosion is inevitable.
Not cool enough.
Bruh, how are they able to draw this? They have like they're obviously kind of like in the middle of like a very small forest, if not just like it kind of depends on like who like designed
Those
that.
trees are gone.
The trees are they're being wiped. You see Rei, Natsu, Fuyumi, they're being pushed back. They're like and bruh.
Doing their best to try cool them off.
Mm-hmm. We get the same panel from like the last page of the previous chapter where Dabi's like and you know we see like the like a faded like visual of him as well here where he's like yeah, he's exhausted. He's like, everyone's watching me. So, and this is probably his perspective looking at Endeavor. Again, this is one of the craziest like depictions of Endeavor, both burnt, using his quirk, and also just kind of taking in all this heat.
So hot.
But yeah, Toya's like, so this is what it's like? It cuts back. This is the next page here. As we have now like a visual of like Dabi before like he went like supernova. It's gotta have like a side smirk on him, but there's like a I don't know how to like describe. They like a streak of white just like drawn across him like a crack,
It's basically a crack, like
and you'll see in the next page too. But he keeps thinking, if it was so simple of a thing, then why? As the next panel, it's still, you still see the explosions. It's the twice fighting.
the twice waves. It's a wave.
Yeah, the twice wave.
That's a literal wave, like an ocean wave of twices.
I This is one of the Pussycats. I believe it's Tiger, right? And
Yeah, Tiger Lily.
he's like, everyone retreat, get yourselves out of the blast zone. And the next panel is Araka. Brush is holding her own against so many twice clones.
She's trying her damnedest.
She's using her the retractable like, what do we call it? The retractable wires as well.
Yeah, her wires that she uses for restraining and grapples.
Yeah. I'll take this last page here, but it's now going back to like current state Dobby, where it's like, why not sooner?
A lot of shit happened, bro.
Mm-hmm.
I agree. I agree with him. He's like, if it was this easy, why did it never happen? It's like a lot of shit happened that made it not that easy.
This is true. There was a lot of outside forces going on with that. But yeah, everyone's like booking it. It's like, quick, no time to lose. Tetsu's got like Kendo, and he's like running.
Move those legs.
Move those legs, Kendo. Everyone's getting evacuated. It's okay, children. We'll be just fine. It's is that her? Is that the
It's teacher.
Yes, teacher. And you see some of the familiar faces as well. They're looking on the monitor as well. Well, they're looking at like probably their smartphone device, and yeah, it's rough because it's just white from what we can see. But yeah, Big Bang Attack, Final Flash. Yeah, go ahead, Mark, on the next page then.
As we see them looking at the tablet, we just see the little boy going, "Yeah," and then we see the helicopter with the lady who Endeavor said, "Watch me" to.
Yeah,
She's
yeah.
looking at the window, and then we see the guy who defended Endeavor at this in one of the shelters, I think, and he's like praying.
Oh my god.
And then we look at this. It appears that we're in the Philippines on this one.
Huh? Ooh, wait, what's going on?
I think it's just like showing the like across the world.
Okay, I was gonna say like, hey, do people just know never?
People in the Philippines are praying, I guess.
All right, fair
And
enough.
we see the buildings. We see, shoom, something just bolted across,
What the hell?
and then we see
What's
one of the
happening?
kids. Yeah, for sure. Because after all,
Oh, I just realized who the fuck that was.
dude,
Whoa!
that's such a cool shot.
Holy.
Basically, what it is you see it's pretty much a fighter jet made out of ice that is being propelled forward with Ida as the engine, and
Holy shit.
it looks so cool.
Oh my god, dude.
Dude, they're going so fast. And then we have the last page where the kid says, "We've got 5 wieners on our side."
5 wiener.
That's the nickname they gave him.
Oh god. What
And
a
then we see
callback.
Badass shot of Todoroki getting ready as the armor's breaking off of him. He's getting his phosphorus ready. Dude, that's such a cool shot.
My god, dude. Hold on, where's Ida? I can't even see. No, he's face cut off.
But you can see him in the jet though. He's right there in the front. I was like, holy shit.
Bro, these kids need to calm down.
Bro, can I just say, like, that is such that's a fucking dope rep by Horikoshi to choose to do that, to like represent how fast they're going. They made him into a fucking fighter jet.
Oh, that's so wild. Like, there was that parallel shot of Ida like initially like pushing forward with Shoto, and like it was through the buildings. That remind me of like the whole Bakugo being like rescued, where he like shot himself forward, but this is like at instant instead. And I thought that was really dope too. And then they throw this.
I'm like, if you look, his feet are not touching the ground.
They're not. They're just like They're just forward.
Like I think it's if I had to assume what could be the case here, I think it's maybe Shoto made the jet to be this angular shape so they could get more speed,
Mm. So the,
break
yeah,
through the wind.
yeah, because like obviously like they're just people. They got their figures here, but like the fire jet is specifically designed to cut through.
Yeah, it's
and
meant to
be
go
it's meant to be
like the shape.
fast.
Yeah, the shape and wings of a jet are meant to go hypersonic, like Mach speeds.
Hmm.
And I think that's was Shoto's plan here. And you can see that Ida's legs are basically the jet engine, whereas Todoroki's made the plane.
That's so crazy, dude.
It's such a cool shot. I want to see that colored.
Bro, this reminds me exactly of when Deku like initially got rescued by Ida. Just in the
Oh
sense
yeah.
of yeah, and like everyone went in on this, and I'm just imagining like, how about now? What if it's just these two?
On top of that, I love the ending shot of the armor just breaking off of Todoroki's arms and chest right now as he's just going forward, readying his phosphorus.
Yeah, no, it's that math. The mask that Ida gave him gone.
Oh no, that thing broke. It probably couldn't take all the G's.
Mm.
It couldn't take that speed.
Bro, what happened to his fine wieners? Like everything's gone. But yeah, it's cool that you can see it like Foster's being charged up too.
Like, dude, like, I'm googling this right now. Please tell me someone colored this, please,
Mm,
please, please, because I want to see it. I want to see if someone did. Okay, well that's fucking sick. One thing someone did.
mm.
Like, yeah, like I couldn't. I didn't see the jet, but I did find this.
Hold on, hold on. What are we looking at? Uh oh, okay. Man, people are going pretty quick on that one.
That looks so sick.
Bro, that's crazy.
That's so cool. Like, I swear, man, Horikoshi has been just. I'll say it again. His art just keeps getting better and better. Like I remember when I first started the manga, his art was great, but as time has gone on, he has just gotten more and more impressive, especially with his
Hmm.
huge battle scenes.
And that can really go to a lot of like, especially like battle like genre type of like artists, because they got to do it every single time.
Oh yeah, you're constantly going to get better. It's like because a lot of you see that with a lot of artists. It's like the way when they start their manga, it's like the art's good, but you see as time progresses, you start seeing it gets sharper, it gets cleaner, it gets a lot more refined. It's like you can tell they're really perfecting their
Hmm.
craft. And I think that's what we've seen with Horikoshi. He is just over time he has been honing his craft, perfecting it, and now he's just come out looking like making these scenes look absolutely sick.
My God, dude. So, I mean, I don't really have much else to add. It's just it's what we just witnessed.
It's a shorter chapter, so we can't really add too much. But I
Mm,
do think we're about to see the conclusion next chapter to the
I
Todoroki
I
family,
think so too.
to at least that storyline.
Yeah, or at least yeah, the climactic end of it, where
If we might see something a little bit afterwards, but this is at least going to be the absolute apex of it all.
mm, I'm
This is going
still
to be the
here.
finish.
I'm still waiting for Iron Might, but that's okay.
I
Maybe
think
we
we might
should
get that after this.
yeah, like if we can just like close up on like the Todoroki like struggle, then I think that's all for the better for the sake of the characters. Because really, they
And on top of that, it's like I think that it helps to build up the. Yes, I want to see the Iron Might stuff too, but I also have like I think one of the best little side things we've had in this arc as well has been or in the arcs have been the Todoroki family arcs. I think they've been really good.
Mhm.
I think it's been a very interesting thing to see, especially because I know a lot of people in shonen like to complain that people who aren't huge shonen heads, they like to complain that there's too much focus on a main character, and I can agree that can happen sometimes. But that's why I would think people would like this so much, is because we're finally seeing we're seeing more emphasis on characters that aren't just our main character. Like, yes, he's
Mm,
part of Class 1A, but he's still not the main character. Todoroki is by no means the main character of the show.
yeah. And to kind of echo that, a lot of people focus in on, or at least have talked about, Naruto, for example. It's just like an early like shonen that is great. I think it's great personally, but I also understand like the issues that it has. And Gabe puts it like quite eloquently in the sense that, or pretty simply, it doesn't really focus on a lot of those characters, like those other supporting cast characters, which is why he likes the filler quite a bit.
Oh yeah, because like the filler did things that they sometimes that they didn't get to do in the
Yeah.
actual source material.
Yeah. Just bringing spotlight to characters that never or don't really have much like impact on like the main focus narrative on things. And it's kind of the same with like My Hero, but the thing with My Hero is that they actually have done that like canonically, just
They
put
have
in characters.
quite a bit.
Yeah. So obviously they have that similar association as Naruto had like with his old classmates slash teammates slash like fellow Genin at that time, where it's just they're just there. We talk sometimes here and there, and that's kind of the same like dynamic with like Class 1A as a whole. But what's different is that they do actually give them like some moments here and there. Granted, though, not everyone gets that type of moment here and there. Like, and for like however long, like for example, Mineta had like a really short like moment versus, well, in this case, Shoto, and then
Mineta,
Ida.
Mineta,
Yeah,
even Mineta's short moment was somewhat impactful.
it was, yes, and that's not to like not against him, but it's just like like it does get shown, like pretty much
Yeah, like
just.
no matter how little, they still get something.
Hmm.
And and like say like even with the recent stuff for Dragon, you've seen even in Dragon Ball recently, like in the recent super arcs and stuff like that, they've been trying to focus on more characters as well.
Hmm.
Basically, where they're trying to include people a little bit more that haven't been included in a long time, while also still staying true to like who's able to fight these fights at the moment.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, this is just one of those instances where like this is definitely one of like the B plots, but it's a really strong one. And for me personally, I think, I mean, I still like Deku's story and like the
Would you
struggles he
compare?
goes through, but
Would you, because as someone who has seen Naruto, would you compare it to the Uchiha family drama?
oh, well, I mean,
At least in terms of a
yeah,
not
like, yeah,
not the
obvious
same,
obvious
but in terms of
distinctions aside, right? But
if you
like,
had to
as
if you had to compare it to anything.
like obviously like there's issues like with like the bloodline just as a whole with the Uchiha family, in the sense that they're, well, there's a huge discriminatory against like the Uchihas in like Leaf
Oh
Village,
yeah.
and it's like it's actually
Well,
like
from what I've heard, it had a lot to do with the second Hokage being
it's
illegitimate.
yeah, it's actually it kind of in a sense is almost institutionalized racism. Because obviously first and second Hokage, they lived like they worked together, they had to fight against the Uchihas, and then they brought together. But even though the
Well,
first was totally cool,
from what I've heard, the second one was the more racist of the two.
y- pretty much like I think first Hokage, he's totally chill, he's supposed to be like the generally good character, and the second one's a little bit more apprehensive, more like analytical for the sake of the first one, because they're siblings. So the second like establishes the Uchihas to give them a proper role that kind of like fits their abilities, and that's like being part of the police department essentially of Konoha. And
Which is what you'd think. Okay, so you're like, he couldn't be that racist, and you're like, well,
he can't be racist, he has an Uchiha friend. Which is
he
true.
could, he's established the Uchihas in a place like that. It's like, yes, but you could still, from what I've heard, he still held a grudge.
Yeah, and that's kind of fair because like they literally have seen death and everything like that.
I was
So
gonna say, because a lot of shit happened.
yeah, a lot. So you can't really even blame him too
It's like,
much. Like,
it's one of those things where you're like, it's like, if you heard that thing where it's like the reasons behind people's prejudice and stuff like that, it's like, I don't agree with them. It's wrong, but in a certain sense, you kind of understand how they got there, even though it's not right.
right, because like I think second Hokage, he's able to just he could converse with them, he can talk to them. Um, but I couldn't say anything about like any ill feelings, like just like innately. But I can understand like any apprehension like he has, just like with anything, ain't deeper than that. And I kind of get that. I kind of get that. And then he passes the third, or at least third Okage takes office, and
Wasn't Hashirama the first Hokage?
yeah, Hashirama as the first one. I'm trying to remember the second's name. I think it's I think it's Tobirama. Yeah, I think it's Tobirama.
I think it is. I think his name was Toby.
And then third's obviously Sarutobi. And so the third goes into this, but at this point, there's been like a kind of a deep seated like grudge on the Uchiha side, because it's not like they're just blindsided by like this institutionalized like behavior, like, or where they've been sanctioned. So there was going to be a whole coup that was going to happen, and Anbu's like on it. They tell Sarutobi's like, all right, and that's here comes Itachi. And granted, he's not really great either, because he had to get his hands dirty, and that involved murdering the whole clan.
All to save his brother.
Yeah, like there's you can see like a similarity somewhere within this, like the Todoroki family versus like the Uchiha family or clan.
That's what I'm saying. Is because I noticed there are. I'm not saying they're the same at all.
Yeah, they're not.
If I was to compare a plot point of what I would compare the Uchihas and the Todorokis, just in a similar sense of where you could label it the story. It's like a side. It's like a side plot.
Oh yeah. There is a side plot to that. I think Todoroki's family makes it a little bit more like out there versus the Uchiha ones, because obviously a lot of it gets led by Sasuke, and Sasuke kind of like is the representative of the Uchihas, even with Itachi when he was like during the time he was living. But I can see another comparison in the sense that there was sacrifice being made for like a quote unquote greater good. But that obviously that had like some really bad after effects, aka in Todoroki's sense, it's Dabi. Like Endeavor wanted to make like the perfect hero, and here comes Shoto, and Shoto had to go through quite a bit of trauma, but I think he is like the best representative of that family. But at a cost, the entire family got like neglected as a result, and the only difference there is that Endeavor's actually trying to rebuild that, or at least just rekindle what was left and make them better.
Either way, both families got.
Yeah. I guess TLDR, like, even if they're not like all the way the same, like there was definitely some trials and tribulations like involved. And
like I said, not at all trying to say they're the same. I'm just saying like.
He's definitely doing it. Let's get into the comments.
I am not trying to create them as the same. I'm simply using it to say like, okay, so you can use kind of in the same lane as the Uchiha family plot point on the side.
Yeah, if anything, this is kind of like an interesting like take on how you develop like secondary characters and how you can create like a parallel plot like within the main plot.
That can be just as interesting.
Yeah, because I know for me personally, when it comes to like building up stories like this, I love learning about like the power scaling in like stuff and how like things work. Like all the Naruto stuff, I'm totally in on like learning how like chakra works or like the nature stuff. And with the My Hero stuff, it's just about like how the quirks work and the training arcs involved for that. I love
how they work, their drawbacks, their limits.
And then a lot of people like more complexities in like plot, which is like something like the Todoroki like scenario, where it's like yeah, because like All Might just kind of like fuels that a little bit just by like him being him and Endeavor being like, who he was.
Inadvertently.
Yeah.
It's like he's not trying to; it just kind of happened.
Yeah.
And on top of that, it's like, and even then, it's not even fully Endeavor's fault. Like, it's like if you look, yes, Endeavor did have a part to play, but I do not think it is fair to put all the blame on Endeavor, because I think that at the end of the day, it is. Everyone did kind of, in a sense, everyone did in some way kind of fail Toya.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like everyone has kind of like a part to play, and then, it's
like he himself, he also failed in his own way. It's like literally everyone, including himself, has a part to play.
Mm-hmm. And honestly, I think ultimately when you see like all this, obviously the conclusion isn't quite there yet. We still need to see what happens in the next chapter to really wrap it up. But essentially, it's a family thing. Like everyone has to
truly
like
is a
go in.
family thing.
Because as much as like Endeavor in this case doesn't want the family to get involved because it's going to be painful, they got to be there,
Oh, yeah, you
and
absolutely
that's
have got
what.
to be there. It's your family.
Mhm. But yes, so I think that's all I have to say then. Um, the next chapter is coming in 7 days, so until further notice, that's going to be the actual release date, and we'll be back with that one as well. But otherwise, Mark, is there anything else you would like to add into this?
We've got it pretty much all down.
All right then. All right. We'll go ahead and call it here. Guys, thank you guys so much for tuning in for this manga chapter read. It's been chapter 389, and we will be back next week with chapter 390. Yeah, it's not quite 400, but that's still a milestone within itself. But until then, we'll see you guys in the next one. Take care of yourselves, everybody, and hashtag bye, everyone.